Okay, and yes, I see we're live on LinkedIn again as well. So welcome everyone, whether it's good morning, good afternoon, or for some of us, good evening already. It's great to be back here. We were away for a few weeks, but we're back again. And today we've got a great topic. It's letting go is freedom, not giving up. And it really ties in. If you also follow Professor Maurizio on his LinkedIn newsletter, it really follows with the newsletter he's done this week, where it is letting go isn't weakness, it's rebellion against the ego. So, welcome, Professor Maurizio Rossini, as well. What's your thoughts on this amazing subject?
Dear John, it's always a pleasure seeing you. You perceiving your energy. And I wanted to share with you today and discuss together about the struggle that many men, actually the majority, probably you and me as well, we go through about letting go. We all have so much pressure, or we perceive the pressure to perform and to please, take care of the family, the fellow colleagues, maybe a business, and we think that holding on situations, holding on unpleasant emotion is a way of show yourself that you are strong and strength. But most of the time, there is a lot of ego that comes into place. There is a lot of conditioning because a man is a man that never cries, a man that always has everything in control. So we are not here to please and victimize the role of a man, but we are here to honor the manhood, to honor the chief of the tribe, to honor the father, the entrepreneur, but coming from a space of self-awareness. So I love these conversations that we have together because it's to share with the audience that manhood, being a man, is being self-aware of what's going on within. So most of the time when it comes to letting go, we man thinks that is about quitting, is about refusing to own your weaknesses, as they say.
Mm.
So letting go actually is extremely powerful because once we are facing a difficult conversation or a challenge that is out of our control, we get focused on fix something or solve it just for the sake to get the validation that we've been contributing on something. But actually, as we said, is ego in disguise because we are holding on something that we cannot have control. And that holding on is creating a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, a lot of self-judgment. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's a lot of great information already, and I hope everybody who listens in or watches this takes notes on this because there is so many of the things that you just mentioned affect so many men, and we talk about this every time. And yes, I think one of the big things that you talked into just now as well is ego. I mean, the whole thing about this picture that has been created many years ago about a strong man has worked against us as men. And you also mentioned from letting things go because we keep things in, we try to work it out, and men naturally want to find solutions, if not for ourselves, for others, and that makes us feel good. But how about finding solutions for ourselves? But for that to happen, we need to sort out what we need to find solutions because you said there are some things we cannot control, some things we can't do nothing about. But yet we're trying to figure it all out, every single part of it, and then we worry. We fall into depression. We get anxiety because we can't figure it all out, and we don't need to figure it all out. And I think for that to happen, we need to actually start to communicate better with our fellow human beings. And it's not only man to man, it is with everybody, because I think a collaboration between men and women is also very necessary, that we can actually honestly and openly connect with others, regardless of their background, their age, their gender, or their sex, or religion, or political affiliation. All these kind of things depress us because now we're put in boxes and we put ourselves in boxes. And then we depress ourselves even more. So we should be like birds out of when the door opens of the cage. We should become free and start to talk about these kind of things because yes, real men do cry and real men don't know all the answers. So we need to start letting go. So I really love it what you said just now.
And absolutely, Jen, always on point. And let me add that letting go is not that you are giving up, it's because you are finally strong enough to stop carrying what was never even from the beginning yours. So the point is this, you see, we are not pretending in 15 minutes of conversation to dissolve the conditioning, but it's a moment, an excuse that if you can, whoever you are listening, pause a second and just pay attention. Once you are trying to control and solve some situation, just pause and ask yourself, is this coming from ego, from the way of being validated as the problem solver, or am I carrying something which is not even mine? We're not saying to stop to help people. It's not at the point. But most of the silent suffering that many men go through is because they think that they are courageous. Ladies, gentlemen, being courage means to have the being courageous, sorry, means to have the courage to letting go whatever or even a person that you have no control on it. And it's not because you are weak, you are smart. I want to share something very powerful that literally changed my life. The question is, do you want to be free or do you want to be right? If you want to be right in a hard conversation with your wife, with your boss, with your colleagues, with your neighbors, and he or she did something bad on you, if you are right and you don't let go of the judgment, of the anger and frustration, you're never going to be free. Letting go and surrender is being free. So the question is, do you want to be free or do you want to be right? If you want to be right, keep going the way you always do. If you want to be free, means letting go. And you will experience the Stoics approach of having so much courage to say, you know what? I let go of this situation, which is not good for me, and I cannot do nothing about it. I'm not saying it's simple, but if you follow the process, question yourself, do I want to be free or do I want to be right? And the answer comes up very easily.
Oh, I love that because I heard it before, and sometimes it's better to be kind than to be right. And I think that gels in well because when you want to be free, when you're going to be kind, you're also going to be free to yourself. When you're going to be kind to yourself, and you need to be kinder to yourself because all this facade that we've already talked into, it doesn't serve anybody, not including yourself. And Brené Brown talks about the power of vulnerability very well. And I think that's what us men need to show, to become more vulnerable because we all want to be free. Is it not what every single man wants? And I'm not mentioning free from a relationship, I think. No, free from the negative relationship we have with ourselves. And I think that's the relationship we need to become free from. And all the great things you mentioned, and you said you've personally experienced this, and I've had things that I had to let go as well because when they keep worrying you, when they keep attacking you really inside your head, you don't sleep well, you don't breathe well, and these are all the kind of things that you do in your men's circles and things like that, and jump in a cold bath of ice. I still have to experience that, but all these kind of things, we need to get rid of them. I think we need to do a spring cleaning to the northern hemisphere. Is now the spring has started, but we need to regularly do a spring cleaning in our head and in our heart. What doesn't serve us anymore? What do we need to let go of? What can we let go of? And I think we start to find out that we can let go of a lot more than we actually think about. So let's not start building it up. It's like luggage. If you have too much luggage, you need to pay extra at the airport. If we carried all that stuff and it adds up luggage, how much extra should we pay if our mental luggage was actually assessed at the airport? Every single man would probably have to pay extra. So let's open those suitcases and let's get rid of some of that kind of stuff and live healthier and live better. And as you said, live free.
John, you know that anytime I listen to you, for me, this is pure wisdom. What I can share briefly before we will close is the point is this conversation that you and me are having is simply to open doors because there's going to be men listening, even women that say, wow, this, open an opportunity that I never considered before. No. Because, one I've seen in the men's work through men's circles or the one-on-one coaching, a man really struggle, especially if he's not very, very much aware of his inner dialogue, to open up and be vulnerable. So
Mm.
I believe that we should have an invitation to create men's group in South Africa, beautiful South Africa,
Mm.
all around the world. Because when a man is surrounded by other fellow men and he feels safe,
Mm.
organically, naturally, in a very easy fashion, they open up. So that I think it's massive, the power of a men's community where men from different walks of life gather together without the fear of judge one another, simply to say, hey, fellow man, I'm going through this situation. How is it on your side? You know, because in my experience, I want to share this with you, John. Men don't like to talk about their feelings.
No.
They want things get done. So paradoxically, if you talk to a man about men's mental health, they feel rejection. But if you
Mm.
tell them how to improve managing your emotions performance, then they pay attention. Because we are programmed to be the gatherer. So I think even in a personal journey between you and me, which we are
Mm.
learning how to craft and convey a message that it doesn't sound, let me show you the way. It's just to say, fellow brother, we open a
Yeah.
door. If you feel resonate with you, give yourself the opportunity. Start to maybe pay attention the way you talk to yourself, the way you talk to your wife, your kids. Just pay attention. And that already opens new opportunities.
But again, I mean, I always love it, and I'm inspired when I listen to you, when I read your newsletters, and when I see all the kind of things you're doing, and so I'm learning as well. And as you said, we are walking this journey too. We don't know it all. We don't need to know it all. We want to share from our heart of the things that we're learning as we're on this journey. And I hope as well that anybody who's listening, and if you know somebody else who needs to hear this, share this with them as well. But one thing we would love to hear is your comments. Tell us what you think about it. Tell us what your thoughts are, because you matter. The reason we do this is to free ourselves, but also to help have better discussions with fellow human beings, with other people who listen to this, with other people who need to hear this today. We don't all need to hear this, but some of us do. And I hope when you do, you share it with others, because it means more to us that we connect with other people. It's not about us. It's about supporting, guiding, and helping other fellow human beings to live a better life on the same journey as we are at. So, have you got any last things to say, Professor
Well,
Maurizio Rossini?
um, you have to follow this guy on LinkedIn and his YouTube channel. I'm telling you, I never met him in person. He's based in South Africa. I'm based in Malaysia, but I can perceive his energy from the screen. This gentleman is a beam of light. Nothing. Thank you so much, Jan. As always, I appreciate you. And your point, as you said, is to have a conversation not only between you and me, but to engage the audience. And we are super happy to listen to your comments. Reach out to us. Let us know what's your thoughts. And if you need any kind of topic, just please suggest. We'll be more than happy to go through.
Yeah, and for me, this also brings it to an end. I want to thank everybody as well, and please have a wonderful day. And thank you, my brother, for connecting with me. And one day we will certainly meet. That's for sure. Take care.
100%, John. Take care.